Well, Tony, what's up, man?
Are we taping already?
Yeah, I mean, I always tape, and we start. I just kind
Whoa,
of.
you got me off guard. I was
Well, I
much more
don't-
relaxed till just that moment.
Well, I like to have it all recording just in case it's like a really good starting spot, you know.
Ooh, well, all right, cool. I'm good, buddy. I'm good. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. I like your hat, the NBC Universal.
Thank you very much.
Did you get that on the job?
You know what's funny? No, I had it beforehand. It kind of maybe happened before.
Yeah.
You know, I used it for maybe what do you say, instigating it or something, or
Instigating.
sending the energy out there to get it to happen for NBC. So
I like that. I'm gonna buy the hats to all the things that I want.
you never know, it might work.
It's close to your brain, right?
Yeah.
The thought, everything. I like
Yeah.
that. I'm pretty stoked to come to the Magic Castle.
Yeah. Magic Castle, you're gonna come this week. I'm there this week, and be fun. It's
So
always a
do
fun
you
time.
have to put on a new show every time you go there?
You don't, but I'm gonna try some new stuff this time. A couple new things.
So like comedians have like the Comedy Store, like big guys will go every Tuesday night and like test out their material,
Right.
to see what's good or not, but it's not their actual show. Is the Magic Castle something like that, or?
Well, you better be. You can't really go testing stuff. It's got to be like I've been rehearsing for 2 weeks for this, getting ready for it.
Okay, so it's like full on.
Yeah, you can't really. I mean, if you're doing a full act, you could throw a new piece here and there, but the bulk of your act better be solid.
Okay.
Castle, you want to do your A material,
I mean, it's the Magic Castle.
right? You don't want to mess around.
But like you would say the same thing about the Comedy Store. It's like it's the Comedy Store. You want to do your thing, but
Right.
it's also at the same time the boys' club over there. you know?
Yes.
Hang
I think most guys usually try some new material mixed in. I saw Pete Holmes, Del Largo, a few weeks ago, and he tried some new material, but he did some stuff that I've heard. But you mix it together.
Yeah.
You don't want to bomb, you know. You want to
Yeah.
end on a good note, have good material to
I feel
end
like
with.
bombing as a magician is way harder to deal with than anything
Well,
else.
it
Comedians and magicians
is-
have it really hard.
It is hard. I mean, you're dealing with props that could go wrong. You know, if there's no ending to a trick, it's pretty bad, right?
No ending to a trick.
Well, if the trick doesn't end properly and something's happens,
Oh, like a mouth, like something that goes wrong.
yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of pressure to rehearse. So yeah, that's why I practice as much as possible, try to avoid any situation. Or the key is to feel like control of the situation, that you can alter it if you have to. If there's a little something, I gotta feel like I'm gonna glitch. I gotta turn. I gotta do this and I gotta change it out. So the goal is to rehearse it like 100 times, so that by the 100th time you feel like you're solid.
So I actually have a question about that. The rehearsal, this and that, and the fact that you do have props that can malfunction. There's different types of magic tricks. I was doing a little research on you. I was looking up all your like website, and there you had this trick where like you made this woman levitate.
Yes.
And I don't know how that trick works. I don't know, obviously not. But I'm thinking to myself, like, that's a pretty big trick compared to like a sleight of hand, like a card trick, right?
True.
So in a card trick, the cards don't move. You manipulate everything. Like, I'm just using from my knowledge, right?
Yeah, you're right. You sound good so far.
Like,
Yeah.
you manipulate what everything is in your control. And you talked about control. But as opposed to a trick where there's a prop that has to do something in order for anything to work, like,
Right.
that's a totally different ballgame. So like when you approach, like do you when you put your set together, do you like have certain order to like make sure those things work? How do you stay in control in that situation?
Well, there's a combination of things. First, depending on the venue you're doing, that really helps you select the material you can do. Like if it's a levitation, you can't do that everywhere. You need a certain setting sometimes to make it work. Either it be the right lighting or the right staging or the right height of the stage. But the key is to have the equipment, number one, in good working order, and having somebody assist you with it that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
But, things do happen sometimes. With that kind of big stuff, it's out of your hands. Even the sleight of hand, you can mess it up, of course.
Well, so I guess like the control factor on stage, because like if that goes wrong, like how do you control that situation, right? Because
Right.
sleight of hand, you can like maybe work your way out of it.
Right, you work your way out. With the big stuff, sometimes you just have to close the curtain.
Just fucking take
Just
it.
close it. Just thank you very much, and just don't talk about it. Hopefully, don't forget about it. And it's not your closer. Hopefully,
Yeah.
But I've seen it happen in the pros. I've seen big shows, and I've seen Broadway shows, even with the set pieces getting stuck coming down, and it happens. It happens. The key is just to hopefully the audience likes you enough until then
Yeah.
that
They'll give you a break.
Yeah.
So the stage presence, I mean, has to be totally different, right? So like if you're up front with like, I'm sorry, I'm using the card trick as my example.
Yeah,
So
close-up magic.
close-up magic, like
right.
the key is to keep them focused on the right thing, right?
Yes, yes.
But when you're doing a bigger trick like that, you have an audience all staring and looking around. Like your stage presence has to be totally different, right?
You're controlling the entire audience at a bigger scale than when you're doing it close-up, yes. So, but you have assistants. You have theatrical assistants with lighting and sound and music and the movement on stage. And
So as
an
the trick
assistant.
gets bigger, you need that then.
I think so, yeah. It helps, yeah. Because it's more theatrical. You have more things to cover, but you have also more things to present. So you need to have a bigger presentation. It's physically more work, too, than doing small stuff, obviously.
And I noticed that you build a lot of your own props.
I like to.
We talked about that a little bit last time, but I was looking at a lot of the stuff that you can sell on your site. That's like,
yeah,
I'm like, shit, you should just become a magician. Pay Tony this much money. You got all this stuff.
Right. Well, it came from necessity originally.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that I had made was for myself personally. And then people go, oh, that's cool. What is that thing? Like, well, could you make me one? Okay. Before you know it, I started making a bunch of stuff. And I like making stuff. To me, it's very methodical, very... it's just kind of just almost meditative when I'm at my workshop. I like just working on stuff and, making stuff with my hands and doing things. So I enjoy all the aspects of magic, not just performing.
So like there's the engineering side of it.
Yeah.
And the more I've followed you, the more I've gotten to, know about the magic world. A little bit that I've gotten to know basically through you.
Yeah.
I've come to understand that there's so much more than just learning how to do a trick. There is a lot of like making the choice because you do make a lot of your own props and you do engineer a lot of that. So it's not just about being a talented magician. Like you have to be able to build everything to go along with your tricks.
Depends. It's like in your business.
Yeah.
You have guys that just play music and are great musicians. And there's guys that could write the music and play good instruments too. So there's two ways you can go. You don't have to be like a lot of guys are out there that don't make their stuff. They hire me to make some of the stuff or other people to make stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't make giant stuff. I make smaller prop type stuff, gimmicks and stuff. But there's two ways you can go. Same as the music business. You can either write your own songs or you just play great music and somebody writes songs for you. So it depends on the venue, the way you want to go.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that.
It's really what works for you, what stimulates you.
Okay.
I like making stuff because I could alter it myself. I could change it myself. And some stuff I have to get made by other people if it's bigger. But I just like the fact that I have control over altering it if I have to, immediately. It started as a kid. I remember as a kid, I'd get my neighbor. She'd just sew for me. And I have to ask her to sew a little something. And she goes, oh, I'll come back in 2 days. I'm like, no, I want it now,
Yeah.
So I wait 2 days. I get it. Oh, something's wrong. Not wrong, but I need it adjusted a little bit. This opening has to be a little bit. So another 2 days go by. So I said, hell with this. I'm doing it myself. And I'm able to actually fix it as I go.
It's amazing how that necessity factor breeds this like work ethic we never thought we had.
It's all about the necessity. It's the will, It's like I came up with a thing for someone recently to say the will has to surpass the skill. And that happens in all genres of art. Any kind of art. If you're an actual artist, painter, musician, singer, dancer, if you're strong enough, I've seen it in my business. I don't know about you see it in your business. Guys that are pretty good and decent artists in their field, but their will to be good and be seen is so big that they become more famous than other people that are probably better than them.
To become great.
Yeah.
That's I like that a lot. The will factor.
Like a Rod Stewart. He pushed through with his voice and Springsteen. People. And Tina Turner. Yeah, voice. No, they wanted. They were so passionate, and so the will was so strong. They surpassed the skill.
Yeah. So
that's the key, So I like to balance a little bit of both. My world, But I've seen guys that go, wow, this he's good, but he's like way more famous than somebody else in the world of magic because his will surpassed the skill.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that because I mean, even in day-to-day basis for me, I've said this before. I don't play well with others. When I have a vision, when I have a job I want to do, when I want to like make something happen, like I end up doing everything myself. And the reason is because I have to accept who I am. I have way too high of expectations.
Yeah.
And I wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. I wake up to get my shit done, and that's it.
That's great.
So oftentimes I run into the same situation where it's like I need something done, and maybe I bring someone in. It's like they're not doing a good enough job, and it's not to their fault. Like they have their own lives or whatever it is. So I'm just like, screw it. Today I'm gonna figure out how to do this one thing.
Right.
Today I'm gonna figure out how to build a podcast. Today I'm gonna figure out how to edit this track. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And like, it's not even that you said, oh, I'd really like to learn this. It's like I need this.
Right.
I will freaking learn this. So it's really amazing the work ethic you discover when you need something
the
done.
necessity is the mother of invention. Right.
Literally in your case.
Yeah. But there's also, you have to balance it though. Like, here's the deal. I'm working with somebody right now, and I've worked with other people that are skilled. I have a client I'm working with, and he's got everything aligning right now. He likes doing everything himself, but now we're trying to teach him, look, you go into a new level, you have a team around you, allow them to do their job so you're not getting sidetracked. So that's a balance. I mean, look at the big guys in my world, Copperfield and Doug Henning and all these magicians that are famous, and Chris Angel. They have a team. You don't see them. Look at Disney, you know. There's an army behind Disney. You don't see them, but there's people there. So there's a balance. At one point, when your career hits a point, you go, okay, I need a team of people. Could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people, depending if they're all needed, to learn to utilize them. You have to sit back sometimes, and you maybe not going to get it done in an hour. It might take you a day, but do your thing. Let them do their thing, and over time, you'll get bigger gains. Over time.
Absolutely. It's funny, a lot of like these motivational speakers, a lot of these successful guys, they write their books, they write this, and they have Instagram accounts with their selfie videos talking about inspiration and like work ethic, and it's all great, all good stuff. Everyone finds their motivation somewhere, but one of the consistencies, because there's a lot of them in these guys, is the idea that you have to outsource basically what you're talking about, like the idea of outsourcing work at certain points. Like, yes, you can do it, but don't waste your time is more valuable than that.
Yeah, put a value on your time. Say, okay, what is my? I did it years ago. I said, okay, I think Tony Robbins had something like that in one of his series years ago, when I was heavily into Tony Robbins. He says, what is your hourly rate? Let's put it at, say, $100 an hour.
Yeah,
is my hour? I'm worth $100 an hour. Okay, so if I do something myself, it's going to be $100 an hour. If I get somebody else to do it for $25 an hour, well, that's worth it.
That's genius.
So you have to think about that.
That's genius.
Yeah. Think about it that way. What is your worth per hour? I mean, it could be $50 an hour, but if you get somebody for $12, $15, $25 an hour, and they could do it, and you could do your other stuff at the same time, now it's worth it.
See, I feel like that has a lot of weight to it, coming from you, a very self-built person, to come as far as you have. And honestly, my issue right now, and I know this, my issue is I am so used to doing everything myself.
I know.
I'm so used to it. I know I can. I'll figure it out. I wake up. And I'm so aggressive and intense with things, and I have to learn to shut that off from time to time.
Sure.
My issue is like, all right, yes, this person can do this job, but can I do it better than them?
Right.
And it's like, I don't think that's the right train of thought for me.
No, because it you know what? Nobody will ever have the vision that you have. It's impossible. Nobody will have the exact level of passion that you have. It's impossible. You can get people close to that. That's why if you get lucky enough to build a good team with people that are strong and passionate with it, it's like the mastermind principle. Napoleon Hill talks about that in Think and Grow Rich. The mastermind, 2 or more minds thinking and having the same goal in harmony, working towards the same goal. It's much more powerful. Yeah. Because, like, for instance, this team that I'm building for this client, we bring these people together. Oh my God! Now I met him, and then we have energy. The other guy has energy, and we have something in common. And all of a sudden, it's just building your social circle bigger. Yeah. And it's not that you're going into the take there. You're going to give. If you're going there to take, it's not exciting for anybody. But if you have something to offer, they have something to offer. There's an energy bouncing back, like a tennis match. Bam, 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 bouncing back. Yeah. But if you keep it all to yourself, you're shutting down the energy stream of energy.
Cut off that flow.
Yeah, there's no flow. It's just coming to you, and that's it. Stopping there.
Well, I feel like it's really important to find, because I feel like until you find that person that you can bounce off of, like, do you think it's good to keep it to yourself? In the sense that, what if you go out and share these dreams, these visions, and you get so much negative feedback, people telling you you're crazy, you end up doubting yourself.
But you will. But don't be afraid of that, because you got to get that no matter what. If that holds you back, then you're never going to talk to anybody about it.
Yeah,
it's going to say, you know what I'm doing is not the norm, so 85 to 90% of the people are not going to get it.
So it's almost like, because no one else can possibly have the same vision and the same passion as you, very different, they can have it. It sounds like, I feel like the skill that needs to be learned, at least on my end, because you do this very, very well.
Yeah.
And a lot of just younger people trying to, with the big visions, is the ability to delegate what you need.
Yes.
To not necessarily, even time itself for sure, but delegate, like, hey, this is my vision, but it's more important in my shoes to express my vision so you can understand it to your fullest extent, rather than me screaming at you saying, this is what I want.
Right.
And of course, there's a lot in between those two.
Yes.
Those two.
But it's also the skill of being able to illustrate to the person what you want. I just read a book. I forget the first name. His last name is Savage. He's from, what's the TV series? Mythbusters. He's one of the main builders. His last name is Savage. I just forgot his first name, blanked. But he wrote in his book, I love it. It's about a maker. It's about making stuff and how you get people to work with you. He says, I could talk to a good friend and say, here's what I want. I want this thing with this on it. I want this little thing, this knob. I want it to look like a radio, but it has to be on the back of this. Draw it for me. They draw it, and it's completely different than what he had in his head.
Yeah.
So what do? Well, you draw it exactly the way you want. You make the blueprint. Then you hand it to the person and go, that's what I want. So if the vision you have can be illustrated clearly in some way, use that. And then that gets you to save time. And people's interpretations are never going to be exactly what you say. You could describe it exactly out of your head to somebody. They're going to draw it differently than you.
Yeah.
You draw it, put it on a piece of paper, slide it over to them. They got it. With measurements, with timelines, with colors, with angles. And then you got it.
As much detail as possible.
Yeah. That'll save time.
But that only works like if you know what your vision is. Like maybe your vision's like 90% there and you bring someone in to get to the 100%. Like you give that person artistic freedom, if you will, in your vision. Like
that takes a lot of trust though. That when you bring somebody in for artistic collaboration, you have to have trust in that person. You have to feel like, oh, I've seen what he's done, and that's cool. And I think that would be the kind of the genre that I want to go into, that kind of area. Let's collaborate with that person. You need to have a big trust factor if you're bringing somebody in that way. But if you're delegating like jobs that are like jobs, like editing and this and doing this and finding this and supporting your work, that's a different skill set. Collaboration on creativity is very different.
So like the mastermind idea, right?
Yes.
Especially as performers, like,
Yes.
you bring someone in, hey, I want to pull off this show. It's not necessarily I'm hiring you to do this. Like, I need to make this show happen. Are you on board?
Yes.
Like, what are some of the key factors in a person or even a group of people that you need to like check off the list to know that you can trust them to be a part of your team?
Well, you first, you make a checklist. For instance, you say, okay, first of all, could this guy commit the time needed?
Yeah.
People say, yeah, I can do it, but I can't do it. No, are you able to commit the time needed? And then sometimes you say, hey, this is going to be on a good faith thing. I can't even pay you till afterwards. But if they jump on board then, that's a great sign. If they believe it. If they're able to say, yeah, I'll go with you and I'll stick with it. Napoleon Hill did that with his book. He didn't get paid. It took him 20 years to write that book.
Yeah.
Never got paid. But he believed in it, and that's why they did it, So if you could find commitment to a level that they're going to take a risk that's not going to hurt them financially, but they're going to take a risk to come with you. That's a wonderful. Reward, That's a great person to have on your side, and they're out there. You might have to go through some people, believe me.
Well, it's also dangerous because I feel like I've come across these people that I've turned down because of this. People that are committed and ready to go after it with you, but it's because they have nothing else going on in their life and they're using what you're doing to fill their void.
Well, that's taking. You need to have a give and take. The energy has to come from them. Like I said, it's like a tennis match. You hit a ball to somebody. If they don't hit it back to you, the game's over. They have to hit the ball back and forth, back and forth. It's energy, it's excitement. And they don't have to know everything, but if they're excited and they're willing to learn, that's good too.
Yeah.
Lots of times you go into a job that you don't know what to do, but hey, I want to do it. Like you, when you do your stuff, like I don't know how to do this editing stuff, but I'm going to learn because I'm excited to learn it.
Yeah.
If you go to a guy and says, I'm not 100% sure how to do it, but I'm ready to learn.
I'll figure it out.
You know what? Don't even pay me until I'm ready to roll.
Yeah.
People are like, really? Yep. You get me to this level you want. Who's not going to hire you for anything?
Yeah.
You know what? I want to learn, and I won't even get paid until you feel I'm deserving of money. Holy cow! Somebody come to me like that, you probably end up paying him anyway.
Yeah, but it shows trust on their end too.
Yeah, it's the passion, man. People come to you if they see the passion in you. They gravitate to you, and they feel it. You don't have to tell them if you love something.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. Well, you're saying it, but if you love something, believe me, it's going to happen. And it doesn't matter if they do or don't. If you love it anyway.
So what you're saying is like the things that you truly love, you don't even have to talk about. They'll be naturally shown.
Yeah.
Like people will vibe with that. They'll know.
Yeah. I mean, in this day and age, of course, you have to use social media and you have to be seen. But the main thing is you're doing what you love, and let people come for the ride if they want to come for the ride. Invite them on the cart. Come on the train with me if you want. The train's going. If you're
like this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. If you want to join me, I would love to have you. And if you don't, that's fine too. But I'm gonna love it no matter what. That's the key. If you love something, you can't really lose. Magic. I've done it all my life. So in any art form, like what you do, music, you just do it. You can sit in your room and play. You're fine. Well, that's it. What else you need?
Exactly.
People would kill for that. Go to any office job, go to any giant building of corporate work. these guys are in their desks, and a lot of them guys are closet musicians, and they were hoping to be in a band, and you're doing exactly that.
Yeah.
They're making $1 million, but they're hating it. But you're doing your
funny how that
love
works.
every day.
Yeah.
What would you want? You want to be free. Freedom is worth a lot.
With everything.
Of course, because at the end of your life, what did I do? I said, well, I worked at a job, made a shitload of money, but I always wanted to do this. It's like the rocking chair test. Tony Robbins talks about that. Do a rocking chair test. 20 years from now, you're sitting in a rocking chair, or for you, more.
Yeah.
40 years from now, I'm in a rocking chair. I'm looking back at my life. Let's see what I did. Well, I should have done that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I held back. Wow. Okay. I really didn't do much of what I wanted to do.
Wow.
Well, don't wait till you're in a rocking chair. Just do it now.
I feel like it's not asking a lot because I do what I want to do. I've been in trouble multiple times because I do what I want to do.
That's all right.
But I feel like as time goes on, it's becoming more and more scary to do what you want because it's more exposed. I mean, naturally with the internet and everything like that, it's more exposed to go after what you want. But it's also like so many of us young people. Like I'm 25.
Yeah.
I know kids that are like in the 18,
I can't
19.
believe you're 25. First of all, I always look at you like because you're so. And I'm not going to say mature. You're focused. Don't ever get mature. By the way,
I you know what? I've
don't
tried.
get mature. Don't get mature.
This is on recording and on camera. I have tried to become
don't get mature.
It doesn't happen.
Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not good. But you're so you're good. I mean, it's your upbringing. Obviously, I can see. So I always go back to the family. I can tell your upbringing and you have good work ethic. A good work ethic is hard to find. And I see that in you. I see the respect in you. That's the basis. That's the foundation for anything you do. I don't care what you want to do. You want to go be a fisherman for the rest of your life and be a professional fisherman in Alaska, that's great. But you have to have the foundation of what you have is that, being respectful and responsible and showing up. You do that. You're in good shape. I tell my son, I said, you show up on time, show up early, stay a little bit later, really do what you want to do, but do it well. You'll be fine the rest of your life.
Well, see, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's like the nicest compliment ever. I appreciate that.
Well, I didn't mean to compliment you. I'm just giving you an example. It just happens to be a compliment. It's a bonus, so there you go.
I appreciate that. Well, I mean, that's what I was getting at because, there's kids that are 18 to 20 right now with the, online marketing. Like, they're making tons of money. YouTube. This kid's 11 years old making like $10 million a year just by reviewing toys. It's great.
Unreal.
There's markets.
Yeah.
There's markets for people to succeed, and that's phenomenal.
Right.
But because there's such a drastic side to it, like there's this huge intensity of like, you're either making millions or you're not a YouTuber. Right. You're either making millions or you're not an Instagram model. You either, there's all these things, and there's I feel like the two sides of it are getting farther away from each other. So what that's causing is all of us in the middle that really want to do what we want to do and chase after it. The idea of giving up maybe like a career that gives us enough money to pay rent and have $500 to go out and see friends and have dinner. That's that's great
right.
at this age. To give that up, to not have anything close to that, and maybe wait 10 more years to have that, to do what I want, is absolutely terrifying. Not because I'm going to be alone and lose a lot of these comforts, which I will, but because everyone's going to watch me do that.
Well, that's interesting. Accountability could work for you or against you. Okay. So if you reveal to someone your idea, well, then you're on the hook for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good tool, though. All right. That's a technique to use to say, I just told people this. Now I got to show up. I got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's okay. Use that to your advantage because you got to do it anyway. But you're not doing it to brag or boast. But like I said, if you really love what you do, which is really hard, it sounds easier than it is. I've been lucky. I've been doing magic since I was 6 years old. Right?
I wouldn't call it lucky. I've never. I kid you not, I was having a conversation with my mom. Sorry, I don't mean to stop you, but this is important. You need to know this.
Okay.
I was having a conversation with my mom this morning. I said, Tony is coming on the podcast today. She's like, oh, that's great. I love Tony. I was like, everybody loves Tony. I was like, but I'll say this. I've met a lot of people in my life, a lot of incredibly successful people, incredibly talented people. I've never met a human being that has worked and works harder than Tony.
Well, I don't know. I think there's people that work harder than me. I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing. I mean,
but that happened because of how hard you. I mean,
because I love this so much. Up. Yeah, because what else am I gonna do?
Yeah. Well, see, you gave yourself that option though. You told yourself, "What else am I gonna do?" And that was it.
But I don't see it. I remember getting out of high school. I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll go to college, make my family proud. I'd be the first son to go to college." And I went to night school to kind of feel it out. Like, what the hell am I doing? I hate it. This sucks ass. I'm not gonna. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I love magic. Yeah. I get up and I dream it. I breathe it. I sleep it. I eat it. So if you can't find that, a lot of people don't. Having a passion is easy to say. Yeah, find your passion. The passion finds you, really.
Yeah.
If I look back at my life, I remember as a 6-year-old kid, I didn't say, hey, I'm going to do magic the rest of my life. I'm going to be, no, I'm just loving what I do. And I'm just lucky that it's a good thing that, but if you're a good person and as you get older and as you get smarter, just do good work. And that's all you need to do. Just do the best you can do in what you're doing. It's all it matters. It's about you at the end of it all. Who cares what you have or what you acquire? It's like nobody cares, man. When you're dust, you're dust. It's gone. It's over. Who cares?
See, that's what I keep running into. I feel more. Some days I feel like everyone's vibing with that. What you just talked about. The idea of like chasing what you want. Who cares how much money you make? Like just make enough to live, and it'll succeed one way or another.
Right.
That should be the last thing on your mind sometimes.
Right.
And then some days I feel like I'm the only person in the room that feels like I believe in an ounce of possibility.
Right.
Of course, it's environment. Like, it's very much who you surround yourself with. I mean, I just read Craig Ballantyne. Huge shout out. I love that guy.
Nice.
I don't know if you read any stuff.
I heard of him.
A Perfect Day Formula.
Yeah.
I've read that book like 3 times now. And
great.
I'm not big on the motivational books. I'm not big on that.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine gave this book to me 2 years ago. It took me 2 years to pick it up, and it was a game changer. Game fucking changer.
Great. Good.
But he in that book, he talked about like people you're surrounded by and like how important it is, because a lot of people have talked about that, but the way he worded it, I couldn't tell you exactly, but the way he worded it just like struck me. And I remember the first time I read this book 3 times. First time I read this book was I think about 4 months ago. I think I read it for the first time. It was like right before I hurt my shoulder, right?
Okay.
I'm about to enter a new stage of my life. I can't work out, like all this stuff. I read this and I thought about it for like days. I just meditated on this one fucking paragraph about these surroundings. And I started thinking about, I think this way. I believe I can do this. I want to do what I want to do. I don't, I really, that my heart and soul is fucking wants that.
Yeah.
But then my mind is like, no, you have to figure out a way to make money. You have to figure out a way to live. You have a girlfriend that you want, that you love very much. You have friends that you like to hang out with. You have family, blah, blah, blah. Like all this stuff. Like, oh, wait, hold on. And it just kept clashing for days. And I finally realized, like, you know what? I don't have an answer, but I need to change my environment. And I kid you not, this is going to sound ruthless, but I got rid of a lot of people in my life.
Okay.
Just rid of them.
I understand that.
Just gone, cold turkey.
I understand.
And
the
ones that I kept, I maybe see once every 2 to 3 weeks.
Sure.
And I became a loner.
Right.
And it literally turned my life around.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's a loner. I think you're clearing your environment and your energy levels, because people do emit their energy onto you. It's not. I'm not trying to sound metaphysical or anything. It's just it's a reality.
No, it's just being around people. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a part of your environment, like you said. So it's okay. I did the same thing almost 2 years ago, and took a big chunk of something out of my life. But I'm finding people not looking for it, but I ran into some great experiences recently. Just amazing people and being with people, and people like you or just other people. Just that's the way you should be, effortless. Yeah. You have to work at it in that level.
That's literally what inspired this podcast, was the idea of like me wanting to get involved with the creative community, bring these people together, because that feeling when you vibe with someone, when you dream big and that passion, like my favorite thing you ever told me is passion is physical.
Yes.
And this is very much that for me. Like, you get to be in that experience as opposed to like hanging out with people that there's nothing wrong with them,
right?
But you just don't vibe with them,
right?
And like you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, I like these friends, I like these people, but I have nothing in common, and they're not helping me become the best me,
right?
And it's not that anyone did anything wrong. It's just who you are.
No. I mean, you don't take it as a negative, right? You say, I don't want to spend the time right now. It's not good or bad. It's whatever they want to do. Don't judge them, because then you put you in a bad place, right? If you start judging people, now you're doing what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
But just let them do what they do, and you do what you do. And if it comes together, it comes together. You can't force creativity. You can't force that passion. You can't. It's just going to happen organically. And, you say, how do you stay in the game? That's the big thing, is how do you stay in the game? Well, I remember when I came to LA, I think I told you this last time, I was struggling. I had like $500 left in my account, but I'm not going to stop magic. What can I do to stay in the game that's not going to deter me from the game? Well, I got a job serving food at this building at Brecksville, Burnham, and Lampart, and Wilshire, and Beverly Hills. And it worked, because I was there in the morning, got done at 2 in the afternoon, and I was able to survive and eat. I found what I had to do, and then I did something else if I had to do it. Whatever it took, I knew that I was going to do. There was no end in sight. They say burn the bridges behind you to keep always moving forward. That's only going to work if you really love what you do. So it's okay if you have to sidetrack and say, for a moment, I'm going to just do something for money, but this is still on my front of my head.
Yeah.
My career and my passion is still here, but I need to do this because there is a physical thing. I need to feed myself and buy gas for my car. That's okay. But keep doing that thing. Don't give up your passion and what you want. If you do, then it wasn't strong passion.
Yeah.
But do something. If you have to go get a job or do
It
something
has
else,
to feed the passion.
yeah, feed the passion. Don't let it take it away. Feed the passion. Yeah.
My
That's
dad
the
was
key.
homeless for 2 years on the streets of LA when he came to this country, and not far off from being homeless after that. But I mean, his food budget was like $1 a day or something like
My
that
God.
because he spent the rest of his money on pastels to draw on cardboard. He drew the strippers, the hookers, the pimps, all the homeless people, all the people that the people that were
Sure.
rejects of the society, all walked on the street at night, and that's what he did. That's what he spent his money on. Ate just enough. I'm like, you know what?
Who else would do that?
Who else? I mean, you have to want it that bad. You have to
Yeah,
love it that
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
When my mom discovered my dad and found his art behind someone's couch in some shit apartment. My dad was sleeping on someone's couch at the time. When they discovered each other, they got together. They started, this and that. She's like, Yuri, I want to put on an art show. This guy, this is the attitude like I really try to remember, because it's like, you can be successful, but you gotta remember, like, you're doing this because you have to. It's who you are. You physically have to do this. She says, I want to sell your art, and he says it's not for sale. And the whole thing was like, when he was homeless, these were his best friends. He said it's the most lonely thing. He's been, I don't mean to get crazy, but he was in communist Russia. He was imprisoned. He was gone through some crazy shit.
Oh, yeah.
And he said being lonely on the streets was the worst pain in the world.
Wow.
Nothing compared to that. So these, selling these paintings, selling just who he was,
Part of him.
Of course, my mom being the incredible salesperson, she's like, she's a champ.
Hey,
oh my God, that woman.
Remember I said teamwork, right?
Yeah, literally.
Teaming together.
So, and he makes this joke. He's like, you know what? Fine. She's like, I need to price these. So this is like in the 80s, and he just like starts dropping all these crazy prices that no one would pay for an unknown artist. And he's like, no, I don't care.
Yeah.
Of course, they all sold. That he sold out the first show. But the point was, at no point, even after being homeless and starving and all this stuff and escaping, communist, all this stuff, all he wanted was his art. And there's something to be said about that need, because it's not even that we have that choice anymore.
Right.
Because like you said, once passion finds you, that's it.
That's it. That's a
You
great
either
example.
spend your life not accepting that and be miserable,
Right.
no matter what you do, or you accept that and deal with what comes with it.
Yeah. That's an amazing story. I mean, you told me a little bit about what he went through. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So people are listening and going, well, that's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to have that. I just want to do something fun. I said, well, that's another alternative. Find something that you love to do that's fun, and figure out how to make money with it if you want to, or just do it for fun.
Yeah.
And still have a job. Get the best of both worlds. I have a friend of mine, not going to name names. He's in the business, in the film business, and he loves magic. And he does a lot of magic, and he goes, yeah, I really want to be a professional magician. I said, dude, check it out. Hold on a second. You got a really good job, and you're doing magic. You get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You're not like a slob, like, starving magician, but you're talented. You're doing you're not digging ditches. You're like in a cool job,
Yeah.
but you're doing magic. I said, that's cool, man. Enjoy both. I said, I enjoy both, because he's great at both things. He's really good at both. I said, but you're doing both. That's okay too. Look at your life going, I did this. I had a job. I made money, good money, but I was doing magic and having fun. That's fine too.
Well, I feel like that's another thing. The word passion, the idea of having a passion. I feel like it's while it can be this deep, intense, crazy thing, it also I feel like it needs to be taken a little bit more lightly.
Right.
In the sense, like, passion is something that you're passionate about. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
If it's fun and you know that when you wake up, that's what you want to do.
Right.
Then that's your passion.
Passion is the passion of the Christ. There's no pain involved.
Yeah. It's not like this deep, intense
Right.
it's like
Right.
you wake up, you want to do something
Yeah.
more than anything else. Like, that's a passion.
Right.
You can have 10 of those a day.
Of
And
course.
if you find a way to do that, and here's the difference. Like, say he wants to, if you want to give up this money to go be a magician and suffer when you already have the best of both worlds,
Right.
Just for that example, it's like, what is it you really want? Do you want to be remembered as a great magician, or do you just want to do magic? And both of them are fine. Do you want to be remembered as a great musician, that great rock star, great artist that released all this great music, or do you just want to record music and have a life that allows you to do that?
Right.
Both are great, both are
Sure.
phenomenal, but I think you have to decide,
It's a choice.
because you can't wake up one day and be like, I just want to play music and just that's what I want to get after, and then next week decide, you know what, I want to be the most famous pop star in the world,
Right.
and then the next week change your mind because it got a little hard.
Right. No, you need to stay on track. That's for sure. You have to stay on track. You can't just keep going back and forth. And also, you look back and you say, did I enjoy what I did?
Yeah,
That's the bottom line, man.
so simple.
You have to. Did I enjoy what I did? Did I do it just for the money? Was I always fighting to get something? Was I enjoying what I did? Was I a good person? Did I help people along the way? Was I offering something, or was I always taking? Were you a giver or a taker?
Yeah.
in your world of life, So the more I feel like I'm giving, I feel it feels good, If something comes back, that's a bonus, Just give it out there. Like for you, if you have ideas, and give it and send it out. Don't be afraid. It's not going to be accepted by everybody. Just let people hear the ideas, and then people, oh, that's what, that's a good idea, man. I'm gonna boom. But if you don't put it out there, the world is very small. It's okay. Don't be afraid to let it out. Don't be afraid. Just let it happen. Let the world know what you're doing, and if people come to you that are the right people, you'll know what they are.
See, I really agree with that. The idea of like putting it out there and like, one, standing by what you do, but standing by it because you like it.
Yeah.
Like you like it.
Yeah.
And with the idea of this immediate response the moment we put something out there, that's scary. That scares the shit out of everyone. It scares the shit out of me, getting this immediate response because it's something we've put our heart and soul into.
Right.
And there's this fear factor that stops us, but like, you also don't have to put it out on social media. You also don't have to put it out on a platform that gives you immediate reaction.
You don't.
You can go say a song. You can record a song and you don't have to post about it. You can literally just post it on straight to Spotify. Yeah. And there's music on Spotify. You don't have to tell anybody, but it's out there. Right. You can tell a few friends. You know how many people I've run into like, oh, I've got like 3 albums on Spotify. I'm like, went on their Instagram page, would have never known.
Yeah. It's okay. As long as you're enjoying it. There's different levels.
But see, that's what I mean. We live in a world where there's no excuse not to put it out. Right. One way or another. There's a place for you to put it out there that's going to be comfortable for you. Yeah. Eventually, if you want to go to the next level, you got to be a little uncomfortable. Right. But I mean, it's such a beautiful place, and I feel like no one really talks about just, social media isn't the only thing in the world.
No, there's so many outlets. Yeah, there's so many outlets now, even for film and TV and Imagine and Universal. They're all opening up their digital platforms now. In the old days, you had to sell a show, go to the network executives. Now he's like, you know what? I'm going to put it on YouTube myself. I'm going to create my own little episodes, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. Fine. There you go. Look at these guys. They're YouTube sensations. There you go. I just consulted with these guys called the Try Guys. They're 4 guys. They do some crazy stuff, and they're huge. From YouTube videos, and now they're touring. They just left for Australia. I just made some stuff for them. They're in Australia.
Magicians?
No magic at all. Really? They just do funny gags and goofs and pranks, and they just do stuff. They try different things, but they're on YouTube, and they created their own show. And now they're touring. They just did I think a 10, 12-week tour recently in the United States. Now they're in Australia right now. Wow. But there you go. So put it out there. This is a time now when you could just put it out there, man. Yeah. I mean, really put it out if you want people to see it. Or you know what? Keep it for yourself. Yeah. It's okay. Depends what you want. You have the option of doing either one.
There's also understanding, though, like, you can make any choice you want, but know that every choice has a response, has a consequence, has an, every action and or whatever, cause and effect. Yes. So like if you're gonna just keep it to yourself, like expect to be the only one that appreciates it.
Right. But that's okay. If you like,
it is.
If you do certain things, like I do certain things in my life. Yeah. I don't talk about. But I do for myself. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, people talk. I talked a little bit about. I did a podcast for a friend of mine a few weeks ago, and first time I ever actually talked about it in public, and it's interesting. Like you, I didn't talk about it because I was like, oh, I don't want to be judged. And when I talked about it, I was like, holy shit! It opened me up. Like, oh, now I have to be more responsible to do even better. Like, really? It's because now it's like, oh, cat's out of the bag, and now ended up actually enhancing my life a little bit more. I told my buddy like, oh, I never talked about it. And now I talked about it, so it's like interesting. Now
it's out there.
It's out there. So it's cool. It's a positive thing. Not a negative thing. So there's different ways to go about it. The key is just don't compare yourself to other people. Don't compare yourself to other people's timelines.
Yeah, man, that'll get you.
I mean, there's no, look at your family, look at other people. There's different timelines, There's like, look at the Kardashians. They have they create their own success. She's like a billionaire now, the young one, Khloe, or not Khloe, Kylie.
I don't know anything about him, but
I just heard, like, we were at a meeting yesterday for branding for this client, and the brander goes, oh yeah, Kylie, her name is, I guess, she's a billionaire now, 24 years old. Wow. For what? Nothing. Just being, social media influencer and makeup and this and clothes.
Being involved with like the world that we're constantly exposed to.
Yeah. But yeah, so but that's like 1 in a million. Like the kid that won Fortnite won $1 million. Like kids all of a sudden, I want to be a gamer. Like, wait a minute, hold on. It's not a career move now. Yeah. It's like you can't get thousands of kids trying to be. There will be anyway. There's kids doing it all the time. But that kid did it because he loved it. Yeah. And he won, and he became that.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like the moment something has a monetary like response. Right. Oh, this is my passion.
Right.
It's like.
Right.
How was like that? That
Right.
didn't really exist.
Yeah.
Like there was a one-time situation, and now it's become this entire. And don't get me wrong, like that's how a lot of markets are built.
Sure. They
Like
start
one
from-
thing happens, like, oh shit, I guess this is something people can do. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
But I mean, look at the what's it called, the shows like at Voice, American Idol.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
there's like 300 different freaking shows out there now. And everyone wants to be on them, and everyone thinks like, oh, that's how I'm gonna get exposed. It's like,
It's one in very few. Like I just came back. I was in Vegas last week. I went to go see Matt Franco. He won America's Got Talent, I think, 4 years ago.
okay,
He got his own show in Vegas.
nice.
He's a great guy, great magician, really good. But so is other guys that I know. But he got on that show and won. Boom, he's the guy. But that's not like the only way to get what you want.
Yeah,
That's a
and-
very rare occasion that happens. But so don't always look at that like, oh, I'm gonna go to an AGT and become famous. No. Just do your own thing and enjoy yourself.
And look, if part of your passion is going on a show and doing that, then go for it.
Right.
But like if not winning that stops you, then
Right.
Same thing you do with the job. If this job is going to take you away from like actually doing your passion, then it's not the right move.
Exactly. That's right.
Damn, Tony, do you like teach classes that we can come to?
No, man, I'm still learning myself.
You should just teach like how to be a successful human
Well,
while being an artist.
that's all I care about now. I mean, to me, is when I see my son, raising a son, he's 12, he'll be 13. I see the good and bad in him. That's me. So it scares me. It's like, oh my God, like I have to really pay attention.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you said, he's a product of his environment. He is a product of me. I'm like, wow. So I see things right in my eyes that I need to make right that are going to affect him the rest of his life if I don't. That's not good, right? And there's good things too, but also the other stuff. So I'm really being aware of my actions, of what I'm doing, how it affects other people.
Yeah.
Things happen over the years. I very directly related to what I created, and things happen to people, and good and bad. And I'm like, wow. So what you do really affects other people around you. You got to be aware of that. Like it's what you do is really a ripple effect to people around you. If you're doing something negative to somebody, it's a ripple effect. Do something positive to somebody, that's a ripple effect too. I prefer to take the positive approach and do something nice for people. I try to do that without talking about it. I know I do a lot of things, and it doesn't matter if people know about it or not. I tell people, I said, you know what? There's no reason to talk about anybody. Just it's not money. Sometimes it's doing something or whatever. I don't need the publicity for it. It doesn't matter. It's just fine. Just let it be. So.
A very, very close friend of mine, great guy, he's been on the show. I was in the gym, and he came up to me, and we were talking one time, and he made a comment. He's like, everything imagine every step, every breath, every word, everything you do in life, imagine you're doing it in the ocean. Because in water, the slightest twitch of a finger causes a tiny ripple. He's like, but 400 miles that way, that could be a tsunami of a wave.
Yep.
He's like, everything has that effect around us. And I never forgot that, because it's like, it's such an important thing to remember. Like, even a nod of the head to the person the right way, that could be that ripple effect. Whatever it may be, but very much what you were saying. So it's
it makes you aware of what you say and what you do. It kind of minimizes what you need to say, because most of the time we don't need to say what we're saying most of the time. It's not necessary. And so it raises the quality of your consciousness of what's around and how you're affecting other people. So it's you, it's about making yourself better. And it's like art. You're an artist for your own being. If people see it and then they get something from it, that's great. You can't force it on them. Like, here's my music. If you're a musician, here, listen to this music, man. Listen to it. No, I'll listen to it if I want to. Let me want to listen to it.
Yeah, it's about building that creative community, getting people involved, like helping people feel something that you felt when you created this.
Hey, the only reason why I came to see you was about a month or two ago to play is like a lot of guys ask me. I met some pretty big artists over the years.
Yeah, I saw you walk in. I was like, I think I shouted you out in the middle of the show. Actually, I was like, it's Tony.
But honestly, I get invited to go to things. I don't go, but I like your person. I like your being, and I came to support that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And you talk about your mom, she went through some challenges health-wise, and when you talk to me, that's all I thought about. I didn't care about what else you did.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but
I feel you.
First is there's a certain level of life that's first. Is living and health and living, and everything else is secondary. You know.
That's so important though.
Yeah.
Because we get so intense and so passionate about what we're doing, it consumes our life. Like, and I've had this conversation multiple times on the show, off the show, guys my age, guys way older, and even kids younger than me.
Yes.
That person being happy, living a good life, whatever that means to you, has to be most important.
Yeah.
You'll never lose your passion because it is your passion.
Right.
You won't lose that. It'll always be with you. You'll always find a way to do it. And if that's what makes you, a career, then great. But you have to be a happy person because everything past that, without it, is not sustainable.
Right. Well, yeah, because then just think about it. It's joyfully doing it joyfully is like everything gets better. Like, oh, that's metaphysical. That's kind of fruity. That's California. No, it's not. It's like, do you do better work when you're upset and stressed and pissed, or do you do better work if you're in a joyful place?
Your mind is clear.
When do you do better work? Are you in a better? People want to be around you when you're upset and angry and stressed, or people would rather be around you when you're in joyful state.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, well, the joyful state's better. So that has to be real too. You can't do it just as an advertisement.
Yeah, especially in any sort, especially performance.
Yes,
you can't fake that.
No. They feel it. Now, especially now, people are in tune to real people, right?
In live performance, they don't care how fucking good at acting or wherever you are.
They can see
everybody feels it.
Yeah, because we're open more to seeing people with, even though reality TV is scripted a lot, but you're still seeing people in like environments that are not perfect. Mm-hmm. Like back in the day when Copperfield was doing his specials and his hair blowing and the smoke and the perfect, that's just beautiful for what it is. But now people see people behind the scenes. So if you start becoming this like on stage in a live show and you're like, well, that's bullshit. They call bullshit on you. Just be real, and people will dig it. You know. I mean, even now. I mean, I'm 53 years old, so I'm still learning. So. I'm trying to implement more real stuff in my act, or my performances that I don't have to think. I want it to be me for real.
Yeah.
Because when I leave, I'm going to have fun. If you like it, that's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing better than walking away from a stage knowing that you had a great time.
Yeah.
And that guaranteed 9.5 times out of 10, if that's even possible in this situation, that'll be your best show.
No doubt. Again, same thing. Would you rather see somebody on stage that's stressful and angry and worried, or you want to see somebody that's on stage that's joyful and fun? Same thing. It's just like, pick one. What do you want to be, there or there? It's a simple answer.
It doesn't have to be stage, like any sort of interaction.
No, in a job, in your home life, in the gym, at the grocery store. I mean, I've had situations like calling people, like at this letter from the state that said I didn't file this statement of information. I said, oh shoot, the girl that's supposed to send it to me that does the paperwork, she forgot. They had a death in the company, and I was like, oh my god, I got $250 fine for not paying this $25 thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let me call her up. I'm gonna be nice. I didn't know what happened. I was like. I didn't know. I said, I'm going to just do the best I can not to lay down some negative energy. I called her. Yes, we're restructuring. The owner of the company died. Boom. I said, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. If I was pissed like an idiot, what's up? You forgot to send me this paperwork and now it's your fault. You're paying for the money. I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I said, how do we resolve it the quickest way possible? She said, first of all, go online. Okay, I paid it $25. She goes, you know what? You pay it. Send us a letter with the receipt. We're going to try to get you your money back because it's our fault. I said, okay, thanks. I hang up. I said, you know what? I don't want them to pay. I'm going to call the state myself. I call them. I said, is there any way to get this done? She goes, yeah, you could ask for a waiver.
Yeah.
I said, okay. I wrote a letter. Boom. I got the waiver. I saved $250. I saved her. I wrote her a nice letter. I sent her a letter, said, hey, I did it for you. You guys are going through stress already. I don't want to add more to your plate. I kind of got pissed. Like, that was your fault. You didn't notify me. I pay you to do that. You're paying the money.
What's the ripple effect of that,
Right. Exactly. So now I know that, hey, it got resolved, and I didn't put any stress on their lives. And it would have been so much more stressful if I did it the other way around.
But, I mean, stressful for you as well.
Right?
Yeah. It would hurt you. So, and that's the other thing, I feel like that's a huge part of kindness. We talk about giving kindness and taking, a better approach. And it's not about, not necessarily not about, but it's not fully about the other people. It's not about the people receiving you.
Right.
It's about you being able to walk away from the situation and still be authentic and still be you and still go after what is actually important.
Yes.
Getting angry, throwing punches, screaming, yelling. It's natural. It happens. It's okay. Yeah. Get frustrated.
Get out of it.
But if you have the ability to make a choice, if you even have time to think about making a choice, you need to make that kindness, not because a person deserves it, not because, if for any reason other than the fact that so you can walk away and continue along with what you truly believe in.
That's right. That's true. And there's a physical element to it. There's like, it's been proven chemically in your body, when you have negativity, negative thoughts, negative energy, and stress, it's toxic to yourself. Literally, there's blood cells that react to the negativity. It's a fear, or when your body just tenses up, and the heart rate changes, and the blood level and the blood flows, and that's physically really bad for your body.
That's what I say. Lifting, guys that lift weights, like teenagers, like, oh, I lifted because I'm angry. I'm like, well, you're not getting anywhere. You're hurting yourself. You're not going to put on any muscle. You're not going to get in better shape.
Right.
You go. I mean, I won't go to the gym anymore. If I'm angry or upset, I will not step foot in the gym.
Right.
Because one, it's going to exacerbate the situation mentally.
Right.
Two, it's going to hurt all the work I've already put in.
Sure.
And three, I'm going to walk away so bad.
Right.
So
You're enhancing that negative energy. You don't want that. Yeah.
When you go and you're feeling fucking positive and great, you feel good. I mean, that workout, it's not even a workout.
Right.
It's this like uplifting meditation that's so physical. It's.
But that's the beauty of it. And you meet people, like if you were a dick and a hard ass, I would never have met you in the first place.
Yeah, I'm a social butterfly.
I can't remember how I met you in the first place. I think I came over to you, you smiled at me, and said, hey, dude, you're huge, or something. I don't know. I was like complimenting people that are in good shape, because
I do the same thing.
Back in the day, I was like, oh, I remember those days, when I was big and it was fun, So I know how nice it is to get genuinely complimented. And then you start talking to me, like, oh, this guy's cool, man. It's a nice guy.
I'm a social butterfly.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's good.
I love it.
That's what
my thing.
Life is about. It's like, again, do you want to be that stressful, negative person, or do you want to be that joyful person?
Yeah.
That's it. And it's about you, not about them. That's what I'm learning. I'm still learning it every day. I'm trying to learn it for myself. You want to learn something, they say write a book about it, So I'm really trying to work on a book just to write for my son. And it may never get published, but it's not about that. It's like I want to research and pay attention to what I'm doing more, so I know I'm doing the right thing.
Wow, you're writing it too. What a fucking...
But it has nothing to do with publishing at all.
No, the idea of like I want to write a book about this because I want to be better at it to give to my son. Like that entire like sentence train of thought is just that's going to produce something beautiful.
And that's not the book I'm going to give him. It's the example.
Yeah.
The book is paper.
Yeah.
For me, it's just the keeping me conscious of it. When you write stuff down and you're on a trail, like, and you're working on a song, right? You're always thinking about that song. Okay, and there's music, the changes and the arrangement. So if you're not writing a song, you're not going to think about it. Well, if I'm on this journey, I want to keep conscious of it as much as possible.
That's a great fucking tactic.
Yeah.
Write about it.
Yeah, write it. Write about it.
It's almost like narrating your own life. So it's like having a extremely personal mirror that's not about looks.
Yeah. Wow. I have a whole book. Next time, maybe if we could ever get together, I'll bring my little diary. Not a diary, just thoughts and things that I experienced. I wrote just little things.
Wow.
Like, here's what I experienced today. I experienced some personal stuff, some other stuff, and just experiences.
So how do you apply that though? Like, say you write down one day, like do you go back and reread and all right, today I have to change that.
Yeah, I read sometimes. I go, oh my God, I remember writing that. I have stuff from like a year and a half ago that I wrote in there. Oh my God. And some poems. I've written a lot of poems since then too.
Hell yeah.
But I don't remember writing it.
Yeah.
In that space, I don't remember like, oh my God, it's like I didn't know I could write that. It's like it was just it rolls, it flows, like the energy and
it was very in that moment.
Yeah, the peace and the harmony, being in harmony with the earth and the energies and different things, and some is
beautiful
not.
Where it comes from, man.
Yeah,
right there, that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I've written songs. I mean, I guarantee every musician's written songs. They look back like, wow, that was a great song. How the fuck did I do that?
Yep. Yeah. You're taking yourself to a higher level of consciousness when you do that. Yeah. You're connecting with different levels that you don't normally connect with because you're so distracted.
Yeah.
By all the other stuff.
Absolutely.
You don't. That's what I mean. You say get rid of people in your life. You're not getting rid of the people in your life. You're eliminating the energies that are distracting you. That's what you're really doing.
Yeah, and it's
that's what it is.
The worst
the energies.
The worst part about that is it's so hard to know, be aware of that. Like the skill of being aware of those distractions is a really hard learned skill.
It is, but also you have to have courage to do it. Like if it affects you, like my decisions were affecting me financially that I had to make.
Yeah,
that's a big decision. You have to have a courage to do that, or a friend that you had for a long time, but you know you don't do it negatively. You just kind of float away. That's why I say you don't have to pull away. You just float away, and people call me, hey man, you want to go out, go on party? Like, nah. Before you know it, they realize that you're not that guy.
Yeah.
You don't have to announce it. Hey, okay, you're out of my life.
That was a very big thing in the studio. Growing up as a teenager, having a recording studio that you worked in. I fucking partied in here.
Sure.
Whether it was girls or friends or alcohol.
It's okay.
We used to party like crazy in here. And I used to call it a studio. And then one day I woke up and I was like, I'd like to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And about 6-month period of just like having the friends over and still having girls over,
Sure.
and trying to have
Sure.
the studio thing. Like like there was never a actual purpose. I never felt like I was actually, and it started to eat at me to the point where I snapped. I literally snapped and said, I cannot do this anymore. I came in here, I emptied this place out. I scrubbed on the fucking,
Nice.
I had to start cleaning and literally just a whole new set of rules. And sure enough, people kept coming over like, oh, can I come over? And I was like, no.
Right.
Oh, don't put that down. We're not going in the studio. What? I used to smoke hookah. For like 10 years I smoked hookah. We'd smoke hookah. There's hookah tobacco everywhere all the time.
Sure.
Ash, charcoal.
Right.
Stop. Everybody's like, oh, you got rid of your hookah? What?
Right.
People stopped coming over.
That's right.
People stopped calling me.
It fixes itself.
It fixes itself, it really does. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times, as much as a person can be a distraction, it's what are you doing in your life that's attracting this person? Is it you, or is it something that you
Right.
have or do that they want?
Right.
So you remove the bad habits, a lot of the bad people will go with them.
It's smart. I mean, when you go through those stages, it's fine. You're young. It's
I
okay.
don't regret it. I loved it.
Yeah, it's all right. You go through it. You know what? You have to have some little obstacles and failures to appreciate. You need darkness to see the light, right?
Yeah.
If it's not dark, you don't appreciate the light. Nobody would give a shit about the sun coming up every day or burning every day. I'm not saying coming up. It's there. It's always there. Nobody would ever appreciate it if we didn't have darkness.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the sun. I mean, they still don't. I have that conversation all the time. Nobody ever thinks about the sun. Like, holy cow, that sun's out there and it's like miles away and it's keeping us warm at the exact temperature. Nobody talks about it. They're worried about Trump, like, and all that bullshit. It's like, no, we're living.
There's a
nobody's
fireball.
Yeah, it's a fireball. Thousands of miles away and at the perfect temperature. Nobody talks about it. It's a freaking miracle. Come on.
Yeah,
It's weird.
absolutely.
It's weird. People are like, there's miracles
love that
around.
example.
There's miracles around us.
Yeah.
Pete Holmes, a great comedian. He wrote a book called Comedy Sex God. He talks about Ram Dass, and even in his show, he talks about we're on a planet, we're on a rock, a fucking rock floating around. Nobody talks about it. How come nobody's talking about we're on a rock? We're on this rock and we're floating in orbit with other planets around us. Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
We're all floating.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything. It's like, well, it's true because we're so consumed with all the other little stuff
Yeah.
that distracts us. It's okay to do stuff, but don't lose sight of what the real deal is. Like I always tell people, are you breathing right now? You're breathing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing that?
You just do it.
No, but how though? Tell me exactly how you're breathing.
Like the scientific and
No, but
physiology.
why are you breathing without even? Who are you? Are you doing it yourself?
Yeah.
You are. But are you thinking about it? How many times a day do you think about breathing? Okay, how about your heart? Is your heart pumping right now?
Yeah.
How do you make your heart pump?
Just does.
No, but how? I mean, do you think about it? How often do you think about your heart beating to make it beat? You never do.
Yeah.
It's fucking happening. It's the universal energies doing it.
It's just, your body, you're
But
built
nobody-
that way.
Yeah, but nobody's thinking about it. It's a miracle that it's happening. This most sophisticated machine, which is our human body, is happening, but nobody's talking about it. All you can do is screw it up by throwing shit in there that it doesn't need, but it's an energy that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
Oh, you're breathing. Well, why? Well, there's oxygen. That's all bullshit. That's science. But why are you breathing? There's an energy that we can't pinpoint, that we can't create,
Yeah.
that's in our bodies that we're ignoring. It's an amazing energy. It's keeping everything going. Blood flow, heart flow, lung
What's
flow.
the idea of like, being aware of like these things, whether it's the body, whether it's the sun, or whether it's, whatever it is, these bigger ideas.
Yeah.
It's just there. Like we have to learn to accept them, but we can't appreciate them even if we accept them unless we become aware of ourselves.
Exactly. You have to shut down everything around you. That's why yoga, meditation is good because if you do like a old style meditation and yoga from like very antique or ancient styles. You think about back in the day when that was created. There was nothing to do.
Yeah.
There's no TV. There was nothing. They honored the earth, the sun, and the planets, and they were really in tune with their bodies connecting to the earth. Because all they had was them and the earth. Just imagine that. That's
Yeah.
all you have. So you go, okay, I understand why it feels right when you do it right. When you're getting into this world.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we talked about this. Some people in your family and stuff doing yoga and stuff. But there is a connection with the earth.
Oh, 100%.
And there's nothing more powerful than that. People were just thinking about
There's nothing more poerful we're going to get close to
no.
than a freaking giant floating rock. Like,
Right.
come on.
Yeah, Pete Holmes,
that produces all this light.
I love it. It's spinning at the right temperature. It's got its own cover, so you don't get burned by the sun. It's just water. It's too perfect for
Yeah.
crying out loud.
Like, what the fuck?
Shut up with your bullshit problems and just eat and breathe and be nice to people. That's it. Simplify.
Yeah,
Just
everything's
simplify.
after that.
Yeah,
I
simplify.
love that.
Simplify.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I mean that's another level. But that keeps you honed in. That's good to think about when you think, oh man, this is not going right. But hey, you know what? You're breathing, you're living, you're doing good. You know, there's people that are not doing that. So don't, believe me, being an artist is tough, as you know. You see guys struggling.
Well, there's all that we talked about, like being joyful about something, be happy and be passionate. Like that's the finished product for sure, and you can find moments of that. But like, I think it's important to, I mean, as you well know, but anybody listening, like, at no point is this easy.
No.
At no point do you just wake up and, nope, I'm joyful, I'm happy now, I get it now.
Yeah.
You know, so
it takes time to develop into it.
and work over that time. Like you can go fucking 5 years of doing the same thing and not get anywhere with it.
Right.
And you could realize one day, like, oh, it's because I haven't been doing this one thing.
Right.
And then you got to start from square one.
Right.
And about 99% of people are going to walk away at that point.
Yes, there's no timeline for people to become really know themselves. There's no timeline for that either, like anything else.
There's no end point to it either.
No. But you know what, though? It takes a split second to happen, though.
Yeah.
You could think about it for 5 years. You could work on it for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. But the moment you actually commit and do it, that
split second,
you're in. That's all it took. All the other stuff was just getting to it.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's a split choice decision.
It's not even about the result. It's about having that experience.
Just
getting to that moment where like you literally cross that threshold where it's like, oh,
yep,
okay,
yeah,
now let's do it.
Right, just being it, and that works. I mean, doing it in that. If I was able to do that when I was younger and I knew better what I was doing, I was at Tony Robbins, Napoleon Hill, and that was all great, but I didn't know myself. I was taking care of all the outside stuff, and I wasn't really taking care of myself. If I was taking care of myself and being more joyful in what I did, I think things would have been expounded even more and flourished even more so. Or maybe I would have been not even in the career, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
I may have went off to a different area. I mean, I still do magic. I don't think it's not my whole world like it used to be.
Yeah.
It's something I do that I love to do, but it's not really me. I'm just doing it. I enjoy it, but I could walk away and not do it if I have to. I could still be happy with it or without it. That's the key. Is if you
it's a huge question to answer. Can you be happy without it?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to, because it's not going to always be there. You got to get older. You got to change something. That happens. Whatever. God forbid. Whatever. But if you are happy with your core, then you could have more fun with it because it's fun. It's looser. Like you said before, don't make it the passion so dramatic and so intense. Exactly. But if you're fun with it, what's better to hang out and do stuff with somebody that's fun? And what do you think's going to happen? Look at the kids. They have a great time because they're not thinking. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. If you do the same thing in your life and be joyful, as kids, we're joyful. As we get older, we have to work at being joyful. We lose it.
God damn it.
Right?
Isn't that just the craziest fucking thing, though?
Yeah, we lose it because we get piled on with all people's, you got to do this, their belief systems, their expectations, put responsibilities on you.
Is it that getting because as we still have it as kids, I think it's we somehow start to listen. We start to believe that shit.
Yes, that's it, buddy.
When someone says something.
Believing it.
Well, when someone says something to you and or I've heard, someone's shares a belief or something like that. And I'm like, all right, well, why do you say that? And it's how I feel. I'm like, is it how you feel, or is it something that you say because someone told you one day and you chose to believe them the same way that they heard it from someone and chose to believe it?
Right.
It's like no one is ever going to be right.
Right.
Like you get to choose.
Yeah.
Just remember that all those people, anything that's been consistent in the history of our human species that's been considered right is just because enough people believed it.
That's right. That's right. It has
that's
nothing
fine.
to do with Yeah, I mean, if it's not bad, if it's stupid, it gets you in a bad position. But
at what point did you decide to start believing all this crap?
Right.
And let it affect who you are.
Yes, that's the problem. It's a brainwashing. That's all it is. I mean, I was a Catholic, right? Oh my God, they brainwash you to death. You're born with sin. You do this. Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. Let's look at Jesus. Let's look at the main man here. What did he do? He was cool.
He
quiet.
loved everybody.
He loved everybody and just lived by example. He didn't build any churches. He didn't ask for any money. All this stuff that we created on top of it. The Sistine Chapel. He would probably want to get that demolished if he ever saw that kind of stuff.
Paint something else on there.
Yeah, it's like don't. But that's the problem. All these people add stuff on and people believe it. And that's what happens. Kids are like, yay, and then all of a sudden, oh really? Oh yeah, really? They shrink.
Because enough people will tell them that what they're feeling is not an actuality. Mm-hmm. You're just being fooled by yourself. And then we get to get to our mid-20s, me at my 20s, like I was like, all right, well now I have to try to fend off all my like foundation years, all the years of learning, because that what I felt originally is still what I'm feeling, and it really wants to come out. I'm tired of it, not being there. Like that's a real thing. It wasn't just something fake. It wasn't just some pipe dream. It wasn't just this thing that everyone told me was impossible and I had to get over.
Right.
Like it's there.
Right.
And that's what, that's the biggest like fear of denying yourself a passion, denying yourself the things, forget passion, things that you like.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to go away.
No.
It doesn't go away.
No, it doesn't. It takes work and really be conscious of it, and you can't worry about what people think either. Like, oh, well, you gonna baptize your kid, or you gonna do this? Everybody, it's like they're putting stuff on you all the time. Are you a Democrat, or you're a Republican, or a Catholic, or what religion are you? Oh my God, there's so many religions. It's like, who cares, man? Just
like,
be a
do
good
you
live the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Couldn't agree more.
And in yoga, it talks about means yoga is not being twisted into pretzel positions. Yoga is unifying with the universe. If you're unified with everybody, do I have to tell you not to litter? Do I have to tell you not to hurt somebody? If we're all one, you don't have to talk about it. If you're we're all together in this. That solves all the issues.
It's like the idea of like the moment you bring up the idea of something being better or like a positive, like it implies the negative.
Exactly.
So like we're out here like trying like, oh, be better, be this, like, oh, we can get here. It's like, well, it's implying that we're not there. It's like, stop talking about it so much and just be it.
Be an example of it.
Yeah. Lead by example, right?
Exactly. That's true.
Who would have thought that plays such a big role in being a creative person, right?
I think it frees you up. I mean, now I think clearly. I do more work in less time without thinking as much.
Wow.
Because most of our thinking is worthless. It's rehashing stuff that we already heard, like you said. Mm-hmm. But the thinking process is really worthless most of the time. Unless you just are totally clear-minded and could think and do it exactly. Like I'll go in, I'll do a bunch of stuff. Like, oh my God, I did it in like an hour. And not rushing it, but my clearly thinking, undistracted, that's how you work. Because most of the time we're wasting our own time. Thinking of stupid stuff or negative stuff or distracting stuff.
Scenarios that aren't even real.
Like in the morning, I do my ritual in the morning and sometimes like, oh, do I have time? Of course I have time. If I don't do it, I'm going to waste more time because my body's going to be revved higher. My mind's going to be revved higher. It'll be more distracted. But if I could clear my mind and start clear slate on a day, I could look at stuff clearly. And I'll get flashes of stuff happening. And I get up and I write it and I do it. And it's better quality than I would have had before. And saves time. It really does save time if you're clear-minded and you're present in the moment. It's very important. And you don't have to. You can do it any way you want. There's so much supporting information out there about it. Like Eckhart Tolle, there's Muji, there's so many guys on the internet. Find something that works for you, and just use it as a tool to keep you on track.
Yeah,
that's all. There's like you said, now with the internet and social media, there's so many ways you could use tools of getting yourself to a place to be more present and more joyful.
Absolutely.
And that's key. That's very key. And people try all different things. That's why people go to bars. That's why people take drugs. That's why people smoke hash or pot or whatever.
To numb their mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you do it here and there is fine, but if you're doing it constantly, if that's your only way to live, they're trying to stop their mind.
Yeah,
that's what everybody's doing.
Well, then they say that they're going to open up their mind. Like I'm sure your mind is exposed to different things, and I'm not saying don't go out and do drugs or don't go out and try all the psychedelics. Everyone says it's open up and change their life. Like great, I'm not. I haven't reached a place to do that yet.
Right.
If I'm going to do that, but my whole thing is like, before you even consider opening your mind, make sure you understand it.
Right.
Make sure you understand your own mind before you let it loose. Be aware of who you are.
Yes.
Be aware of what you want and what you love. And then if you want to go do something and to mess with your mind, go for it.
Right.
Because you'll know who you are in the first place.
That's true. Ram Dass, he was a devotee of Maharishi, very big guru back in the 70s. And he took the psychedelics and did a study on it and at Harvard, and he got fired for it. But he said it opened his mind and it put him to dimensions that he never expected, and it showed him how unified he was with the earth.
Yeah.
But he, later in life, he says, you don't really need that though. Just know that it's true. You don't have to, do it. Drugs are not the only way to do it. You don't have to do it with drugs because that only is a short-term time, the span of it happening. But just really being unified with things around you. And like you said, it's a ripple effect. Why is it a ripple effect? Because we're all connected.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you're not connected, it wouldn't affect anybody, but it does. We're all connected in some way or another. And it's funny. The analogy that I use sometimes is like, for me to get honed in the morning and do my ritual in the morning, it's like being in the ocean that's wavy and rough waves. I have to anchor myself to see my route of that day. If I'm floating around with everybody else in that waves and I'm popping around, where am I looking? But for me, it's an anchor. It literally anchors me so I can see clearly the path.
Do you mind me asking what your ritual is?
Yeah, I do yoga and meditation in the morning. Like I said, it's a very old style, ancient style of yoga. But there's so many different styles out there. This is again more focused on unifying yourself with the energies of the body and the universe. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So I started doing it a couple of years ago, and there's just some physical stuff, and then there's some mantra stuff, and then there's some mental, meditation stuff. It's all mixed together, and it's about 45 minutes roughly over time. But that sets you straight. But that's literally an anchor.
Yeah.
And now I go, I can see now. Everything's still moving, but I'm not.
Yeah.
The Earth's moving. You're not going to control it, right? People are crazy. People are doing this. People are doing that. Okay, I see it, but I can navigate now. I see the rocks. I see that guy. I can navigate and just go. And that's what it does. It really literally anchors you down. It's a great anchor, I wrote a poem. I'll bring it next time.
Please do.
About how it anchors me and stuff like that. Because people always ask me, what does it do? What does it do? And I wrote a poem, and I never was a poet really, but I wrote it.
Hey man, I've been meditating since I was 17. It's even earlier than that. Oh my kidding,
That's great.
15, 16 years old. I've been meditating, and yeah, I get it. It's just like an understanding to it. Like, I like your analogy though in the ocean, because it's like, it's not that you're trying to stop the ocean from moving.
No, you're
and
not.
It's not that you're trying to figure it out. You're still moving with the flow. You can't change that, but you know where you are.
Yes.
You know what your goal is, and you know how to make little slight changes here and there.
Yeah.
And that's the awareness.
Yes.
That's all that is. That's being aware, knowing your mind, knowing your person. That's I like that analogy a lot.
Yeah, it's a good visual for people to think about. Go, yeah, you're in the ocean, and I thought about that. I went to Catalina to a friend of mine's house over about a few weeks ago, and I was thinking about that. I was like, we're in the water, and I see the boats docked at the docks there, and I see the water was rough one day, and people are moving and things, but there's one boat sitting there. And stocked. It's anchored, anchored in the middle of water. It's moving a little bit, but I'm like, if I was in that boat, I could still see everything, but not get affected by it.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Wow.
That's the key.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fucking love that, man.
Yeah. So it's just little tools we keep in our heads to keep us on track.
Rock and roll, man.
It's like the speed bumps. I always say like the little bumps on the sides of the roads. In the lanes that keep you in the lane. If you go off into the lane a little bit, you hear ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
You get back. That's what it's for. It gets you back. Don't be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. When nobody's gonna be perfect. Just you go off a little bit, boom, come on back.
Yeah.
Take a bump or two, and you're back. That's the key. Because listen, in this business, I remember being down for a long time. Out, like, anxiety, depression. Sometimes just, oh my God, it's killing me. This business, for weeks and weeks. Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, I got a little obstacle. Boop, boop, boop. I'm back.
You've kind of had the experience to know that like this is gonna end. Like
Yeah.
this will come. I'll come out of this.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like that's a big thing because it's one thing to have experience and nothing to learn from experience.
Yes.
And they say intelligence is the ability to learn from someone else's experience, so you don't have to do it yourself.
I like that.
But it's like the idea of Napoleon Hill actually talks about this in Outwitting the Devil. I don't know if you've read that one.
I heard of it. I haven't read it.
I haven't read Think and Grow Rich. I read Outwitting the Devil.
Oh, okay.
I want to do Think and Grow Rich next.
It's amazing.
But he talks about faith and fear, and like faith is actually only thing that matters is faith in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have faith. The only freedom you can attain is faith in yourself, because no one else is going to have faith in you, because it's not possible. Like, you have to have faith in yourself. You have to be able to say, no matter what, like, I know who I am. I'm going to take this leap of faith. Like, I'm going to go through 3 years of a hard time,
Right.
but I have faith in myself. So I'm still going to push. I'm not going to stop magic. I'm not going to stop music.
Right.
I'm not like, there's this faith factor that he talks about within yourself that
Keeps you on track.
it not only does it keep you on track, but it literally allows the freedom necessary to achieve what you want, because it is necessary.
Yeah.
It blew my fucking mind. I was like,
Right.
damn.
Yeah, you can't run from adversity. That's part of life. I mean, things happen and the obstacles happen, and
And you will lose people and things.
yeah.
Like-
All material things are very impermanent. That's why if you latch on to permanent things, you're impermanent things and material things. It's painful.
Yeah.
It's painful and scary.
And we know we're not going to keep it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's why people get scared. Like, I know people are very wealthy. They're like, oh my God,
distress.
I don't want to lose that. Or, it's like, you are going to lose it. I hate to tell you that, but you're going to be dirt, down the road. So don't worry about it. It'll all take care of itself, my friend.
Oh, goddamn.
Have fun. Have fun. Enjoy
yeah.
it. But again, do it joyfully and let it happen. Enjoy it as it's happening. Because all we have is right now, right?
Yeah.
When I'm talking to you, I'm not doing anything else. I'm here. This is it, baby. This is how good. This is it. How much better could it get?
I mean,
this is it. We're just here. We're breathing. We're talking, and we're alive and free. And how much better when the Earth is spinning at the right speed, and we're not getting crushed by gravity, and the Earth's not. You could name millions of things that are so good, but people tend to pick the one or two things that are minute things that are troubling them.
and it spirals. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange. But you know what? I learned that. Slowly I'm learning it. And I talk about it only to remind myself.
That's the thing. It's like it's okay to get frustrated. It's okay to have those spirals.
Yeah. You'll get it. Nobody's perfect,
Yeah.
But just, I don't believe in anything that you hear or do. Be it. Take the first part of it. Leave the leave out.
Yeah.
Leave out. Be only. Be, leave. Leave is out. Be. What do you believe in, man? What do you believe in? I said, I'm just being in it.
Yeah.
Don't believe in it, because you believe in it. You don't know it. If you believe something, you don't know it.
You
just
immediately put it higher than yourself.
Right. Like, I believe in this belief. Like, no, but you don't know it. That's why you're believing it. But be it, and now you're really it. So be it.
That's a big thing for any sort of like creative or any career.
Yeah.
Like, don't talk about how. I mean, it's okay to talk about it. Like, talk about have a dream, this stuff.
Yeah.
But don't sit there every day and talk about what you're doing and what you're gonna do. Like,
Right.
just do it.
Just do it.
Don't talk about it. Just do it.
Right.
And when it's time to show someone,
Right.
talk about it. Hey,
Yeah.
don't push it. Just talk about it.
That's right.
And yeah, a lot of marketing professionals, a lot of this person will tell you like, oh, that's not a good way to do it. But you know what? I guarantee you will have a stronger foundation and you will get somewhere better.
Yeah. I mean, committing publicly is one thing, right? Or committing it to yourself is even more important. Like, I remember Zig
Most important,
Ziglar. Zig Ziglar wrote a book years ago, and he talks about this in one of his lectures. And I love Zig Ziglar. He's very funny, and he's great insights. He says, I wrote a book, and I wrote in the book that I was 185, strapping, good shape, but I wasn't. I was 250 pounds, out of shape. I couldn't even run half a block. But he wrote that he was in shape. Now he goes, I have to live to that. But nobody saw the book until he published it, and he was that guy.
Wow.
So he committed himself to the image, imagine it first,
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
Napoleon Hill, conceive, believe, achieve, right?
That's wild.
So he wrote that book, and he didn't say it to the world, I'm going to do this. No, he wrote it, but he goes,
that was for himself.
that was for himself. That's what I'm talking about. That's where it really works, when you do it for yourself.
People say you have to be selfish. That's the kind of selfish.
Yeah. I mean, it's for your
Be
own.
a dick, but
Well, no, it's for your own awareness, just to keep it, like we said, you write stuff down on a daily basis for yourself. Hey, everybody, check this out. I'm doing that. No, I'm just doing it for myself.
yeah.
That's really the key. That's the key. And you know what? We're talking now. Maybe people listen to it, and if one person gets something out of this and it helps them, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I could say
I got all the stuff out of this. Are you kidding?
Well,
This is an education for me.
yeah. If you could do that every day or something like that, giving something and every day, it doesn't have to be money. It could be. It doesn't have to be. But if you're giving something of yourself to somebody every day, imagine if everybody did that.
By
if
choice,
everybody
though.
did it, yeah.
By choice, not
Yeah.
because you have to, not
No.
because it's been
I just
taken
love
from
it,
you,
and then you know what? It's going to somebody and say, man, you look good in that suit, or that looks great, and thank you for helping me today. You were
Yeah.
great, and just writing a nice note. Hey, buddy, that was awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You were awesome. That was great service and sincere. You can't bullshit, right? Make it
Yeah.
real. That's great. Do that. If everybody did that to one person or something or a being of some kind every day, this world would be totally,
Oh hell yeah.
totally different. Totally different.
That's not praised that much though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it's so rare.
Yeah, it's because it's not
It's not controversial.
Yeah, it's not controversial. We had a pitch meeting, a few months ago, and the notes came back. It's not noisy enough. The show
Oh,
is not
God.
noisy. That's they know what sells. They want, what's noisy mean? Well, that means not enough conflict. So I'm sorry. not what I do. I'm not gonna create conflict for reasons that you need it to keep
Oh
your
my
audience. But
God.
that's part of it.
Yeah,
that's the business you're in.
oh, man.
That's the business. I laughed. You laugh.
You
know.
have to at that point. You're like,
Yeah, yes.
whatever.
Not busy and not noisy enough. I'm like, I never heard that before, but that's a thing now. They need stuff. Stimulation.
Drama, yeah.
It's like, I'm anchoring my boat. I'll watch it, but I'm gonna just go to the left a
Yeah.
little bit, and I'll watch it.
It's another thing. Don't sacrifice who you are because,
Yeah.
it's like, that maybe if you sacrifice who you are and all these things, there's a great opportunity to take you to a place that's closer to what you want. But like, getting there requires you giving up like your actual like who you are.
Yeah.
It's like you're not gonna like it when you get there.
No, we have nowhere to go, dude. Where are we going? We're right here. What do we need? Where do you have to go? Where are we rushing to?
Exactly. It's like, oh, but this contract and this fame and this is like,
We're here,
Yeah.
And you can still accomplish stuff, but don't make it like the ultimate purpose of your life.
Yeah.
Our only purpose in life is to enjoy it.
I like that.
That's really the only purpose.
Yeah, I like
Enjoy
it.
life. What else is there? Tell me what's better.
Than enjoying life. I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty much it. isn't it?
And it stops right there, right? But when you're enjoying life, stuff happens and things happen better and people come around and
It is. It's true.
Don't be happy. Don't be a happy-go-lucky guy. That's bullshit. Somebody's like, oh yeah, that motivational stuff doesn't work. That's bullshit. It's like, yeah, you don't want to be motivated. It's like, well, yeah. Zig Ziglar says, yeah, motivation. People say it doesn't work. Well, taking a bath doesn't last long either, but you have to do it every day. We recommend it daily. That's what he says.
Yeah.
So you got to do it daily. Be the person.
You don't just take one shower and clean the rest of your life, right?
Right. It's a daily thing to be aware and conscious and being joyful and loving awareness. Ram Dass, people listening, Ram Dass is there's different styles. I gravitate. Sometimes I listen to Eckhart Tolle, and I have Sadhguru as the guru that I use his yoga techniques. But Ram Dass, he says, just live in loving awareness. Loving awareness. That's it. You're just loving awareness. What does that mean? You're seeing what you're around, and you're loving everything around you because you're part of it too. You're loving awareness. That's it. That solves the issues, man. That takes away all judgments. It takes away all prejudices. Loving awareness. That's it. That's the mantra. Not even a mantra. Become that.
Yeah.
And that's what That's what I want. I feel moments of that, and it feels like bliss, and I want that every moment of my life. That's what I want. That's
Rock
the
and
goal,
roll, man. I love that. Well, damn, Tony.
Thank you, buddy.
It
feels good. It's like
I feel like I'm absorbing so much information. Like this was it's funny how where universe works sometimes. Like, you're at a place in your life and, like I had all this stuff planned that I wanted to ask you because I'm curious about. Clear for next time because I have like questions.
Oh, did we get to any of the questions?
No, we got to a few, but like we started off and immediately I was like, oh man, I need this. This was very like, and it was in a selfish way. I was like, man, Tony's got something to say, and like this is really great. This is important. It's funny how this works. Like, the goal of this podcast, the goal for anything is like I want to bring people together.
Right.
I want people to bring people together in the idea of creativity and that we all are creative in some way. And if we explore that together, these passions connect and bigger things can happen.
Of course.
And that's like really what I want to do. I want to expose that. I want to build that.
Yeah.
And like to have it on the personal level, which is what I get when I do the show. But at this level, like this was everything you talked about is stuff I needed to hear. I absolutely needed to hear and needed to learn and become more aware of again and newly. So anybody listening that, vibed with this, fucking goddamn.
Yeah, I need it. I need it more than you. That's why I talk about it in my mind. I don't talk about it publicly normally, but people that care, it's something important to talk about.
Well, just know that you have changed someone's life today.
Thanks, buddy.
After all that you said.
I'm glad. I love you.
Love you more, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thanks
again. I hope I can have you on again soon. I know
Thanks.
you're super busy, but
I'm not as busy as I look. I try to look busier than I
you
am.
look pretty busy.
Well, sometimes it comes in phases.
Yeah.
I could back off it whenever I want.
Well, anybody listening, go check out Tony Clark Magic.
Yeah.
I did some exploring today, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah.
I'm going to say this now. If anybody wants to donate to a fund for me to hire Tony to teach me magic, I will learn magic. I'm calling it right now. I would love to learn magic, but someone donate to that fund.
You don't need to donate, buddy. I'll take care of you. If you need to learn magic, I'll teach you magic. It's fun to learn a couple tricks here and there.
Man, every time I see you on Instagram, every time I look you up, I'm like, that looks so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. You can learn it. You with your skill set, being a musician, it's about discipline.
Yeah.
You know how to rehearse.
Well, there's the commitment factor that I
Yeah,
love.
yeah, yeah. But
addicted to commitment.
musicians, actors, they learn quick.
Yeah.
Because they have a discipline of staying on something till they get it right.
Yeah.
That's a rarity these days. But you're a musician. So, how long do you play a song? Oh my God, hours and hours and hours till your fingers are bleeding off the strings, right?
Yeah.
So you'll learn it. You can learn it, no problem.
All right. Well, I'm going to attempt to learn magic now.
You.
Tony Clark, thank you so much.
Hey, God bless you, buddy. Thank you.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Cool, man.